We're live!
Yeah.
Someone please tell me if I have live audio. I know that's been a struggle previously, but I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Really,
too, man.
everything was so smooth leading up to this very moment that we're in right
100%.
now. Definitely haven't been running around with our heads chopped off completely. So I'm here with two of the finest animal care techs in the country. Anthony, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Anthony Yankee. I'm a beekeeper and animal care tech here at the Wildlife Command Center.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm an animal care tech here at Wildlife Command Center, and I'm new, so I've started here about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And both of these strapping young gentlemen are currently in school. Are both of you at Maryville?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
biology.
So are you both doing biology?
Well,
Yeah.
he's biology. I'm biochemistry.
Biochemistry. Wow, that's a lot of classes I personally would fail.
It's a good thing it's my first year.
So we have had just a blast this week so far. Anthony and I in particular with Bare Hands Baran.
Oh, yeah.
But it's high bee season. I guess it's an Anthony. That's an Anthony question. Is like obviously we've gotten a lot of bee calls at Wildlife Command Center. Like, is this the time for bees, or is that not a thing?
I mean, every summer around this time, me and a lot of other beekeepers always get hive removals or just swarm catches around this time. Mainly because how hives repopulate is they take half of the entire colony, as well as some resources they can ingest it themselves, and then just split somewhere. And that split can be in houses, an air vent, or like a whole column, like me and Cole said with Bare Hands Brand.
Yeah, if you're a patron of ours, I posted some preview photos from the last bee account we were on. But there was a column that was maybe like 15 feet tall, maybe 20 feet in front of a home
wow.
that we had to tear into. And the combs were about 6 to 7 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got that comb here.
We do have that column. It's right here in this bucket.
Got a super chat from Hear This. Thanks. Thanks for
I'll
the
tilt
super
it so they can
chat.
see in.
So what was interesting about this comb, I don't know if you want to talk more about this, but this particular colony was recultivating an old colony that had been in place maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know if you can talk more about that.
So after I saw all this hive, I personally think that this was an old hive, and then a swarm of bees went into this old hive and then started rebuilding it.
So this is obviously, there is some new comb in here though.
Very little, but yes.
Yeah, so they were reconstructing an old one. It feels interesting.
It does.
It feels like if you'd left a kitchen sponge on the counter for like 5 years, this would probably be what would happen to that sponge.
How do you know it's like reconstructed and not like an original one? Like, what's the difference?
One of the biggest differences is the color of it.
Yeah.
You know how this is really just brown, black, and crusty? New comb is a lot softer, and it's also a lot lighter in
Okay.
color, like plain white.
It's still on. So we were a little late on the live today because we got a brand new electric cooktop for this ginormous pot, and we've been trying to boil water for an hour and a half. We set it up super early because what we're planning to do for this evening is to make beeswax.
Oh yeah, beeswax.
So I have no clue about the process, but I guess the comb is involved in it.
Yeah.
So, like, is this wax?
Everything in your hand is wax.
Everything
wax mixed with propolis, sometimes some pollen in there from traces of it. But yeah, just beeswax.
So is it just this that you melt down to a liquid, or is there anything else you add to it in that
You just
process?
melt it down.
I'm gonna continue to play with this burner.
I know,
as
you're
we
good,
go.
man.
I think that light went off again.
Yeah, it
The
did.
heating light.
So the problem with electric burners is that once they hit a certain temp, they end up wanting to shut off, and so we can't keep it going continuously. So I'm going to try to fight this as we go. No. So I know you said that you wanted to talk about the hive, though, Anthony.
The hive, yeah.
So potentially we could get that going because I know this water is very close to being ready.
Oh yeah.
And I know, didn't you skip home in order to get something for that?
Yeah, I went back home real quick and got like a mock model of like a beehive.
Why don't you get that going here?
I think if you set it to max, it just wants to shut it off. So you probably got to lower it a little bit. Can I lift this up like a little bit just to see if there's any steam? No.
Yeah,
It's
keep that
going.
heat in there.
Michael says, I have absolutely no faith that old comb is going to melt into anything usable.
Well, not with this heating pad, it probably won't.
Nah, yeah.
Also,
Don't get me started.
Jeff Minnie gave us a super chat and said to release the bees.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So I guess that's another thing you can mention. I hate giving away YouTube videos that are going to be coming out in the future, but so do you want to talk about? You got to get on screen over here, homie.
Oh,
He's just like dancing off screen right now. Do you want to talk about what we did with the bees? I guess the process of it. So we had a customer that said, "Hey, I got bees," and they had a lot of bees. Like, could see the bees from the road because they had formed themselves at the entrance of the column. A big, just black swarm of them at the bottom. So you're like, yeah, you got bees going on there.
oh yeah, man.
But yeah, what did we do with all of them?
So me and Michael just went up there and we started smoking them and then sucking them up with the bee vacuum. Which a bee vacuum is a vacuum that is set to a specific sucking power so it doesn't damage or hurt any of the bees when you suck them up. And when we went up to this column, it was just a swarm of bees at the entrance, but we were pretty disappointed when we got to the very top with it being dead at all. And so I think it was just a swarm and very few bees came up and started developing everything.
Cole's really excited that it turned back on.
Why don't you, can we move your hive to the middle section
Yeah.
here? It's like super in everyone's face right now.
Probably won't even be able to see Cole if he sits down right there.
Oh, shit. I thought I was going to break it for a second. I like off kiltered it though on the front side. I don't know if you need to recenter it or anything.
Final words. Oh shit.
It's like you can see it on the front side. It's slipped.
I got it.
Does this have like 20,000 bees in it too?
It does not, but it is still sealed.
They like
the
fly
top of
everywhere
it.
if I open it.
So here we have the top cover. This just seals it from all the rain and other elements of the outside. And did you guys know that a beehive that's actually one of the most sterile places in nature?
Interesting. This is a good spot to cook.
I'm going to throw that away. This hive has been sitting in my backyard for a while. It's live. There's maggots in it.
Is that a wasp hive? What is that?
It's a wasp hive.
Oh, okay.
This beehive has been sitting in my backyard empty for a little while, which is my bad on my part because I should have stored it in my garage, but a wasp nest have gotten inside.
I'm very popular.
But yeah, this is the undercover. This is just to, I'm pretty sure help with water vapor. I could be wrong.
What is all that stuck to the? Is that all like honeycomb?
So this is a bunch of starting comb that they start to develop when they want to go down. Let me rephrase that. If you can see here, when it's placed down, all those bees want to start making new comb everywhere else besides where the frames are. And so the frames help guide the bees to build like this. And so this is just like a bunch of extra schmutz.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
If I missed anything on the live chat right now, Taylor?
Regarding
I don't know, just generally speaking.
Jenna and Sage both say hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, people.
But yeah.
So is this trying to mimic the comb forms, I guess?
So a lot of beekeepers prefer different frames. So I have a plastic frame with beeswax coated onto it. A lot of beekeepers do popsicle sticks coated in beeswax at the top so the bees can just draw their way down. A lot of keepers that like to maximize their honey wax production do that in their honey supers to help get more wax and honey out.
So is this left over from other bees?
Yeah.
Like this comb right here?
Oh yeah. If I were to take a scraper, I would scrape all that into the bucket we have, and we can melt that too.
Now, you told me a fascinating fact when we were out in the field dealing with the honeybees. And what shape are these combs in?
The shapes are they're in the shape of a hexagon.
A hexagon.
Why do they make
or octagon? Octagon. Like the stop sign. Yeah, octagon.
No, stop signs are hexagons.
I don't remember.
Hexagon is six.
Stop
six
signs
sides.
are octagons. And then
Oh.
Okay.
Never mind. We're both wrong then.
No, wait, I was right.
Oh. Wait, these have 8 sides though? These are octagons?
they don't look like they have 8. They look like they have 6.
Yeah,
They
so these are
they
hexagons.
Okay, so hexagons.
So we're both wrong.
Hexagonal. is the
Whatever shape they are,
And you were saying that hexagons.
hexagons. We'll go with that.
We're going back to first grade today.
It's one of the strongest building structures. Is that what you said?
What I was going for was
Whole thing I was getting at there.
the way beeswax makes their wax. The hexagon is the shape that takes the least amount of wax but holds the most amount of material, and it can also help outbuild other cells. If Cole would show it to the camera, there would just be these big, almost like developing cities that would rise out from the comb, and they would sort of spread out as the bees built them up more and more.
How thick do these get? Do they know when to stop?
They get pretty much as thick as the top of this frame.
Yeah, that's super, super thick.
Oh yeah, there's a perfect example.
Yeah, there you'll haven't cleaned this one.
That is a really old frame.
So do you have to clean these out then before you put like new bees in it?
No, I can honestly toss all these frames in a beehive and bees would clean it and then repurpose it and fix any that are broken.
Yeah, I kind of press these down.
Oh no, you can press them all you want, man.
They feel really cool. Like just feeling them.
Super chat with. There are words.
There are words.
Associated.
What about these parasites that always killed my bumblebees, sitting in the hive and killing all, including the queen? Is that a problem?
Varroa mites, I think she's talking about, but yes, varroa mites are a major problem for honeybees across the country as well as in Europe, and they're along with humans one of the main reasons why they're declining.
Now, there was multiple insects in the colony that we cleared out with Bare Hands Varan just yesterday. It's hard to think that was just yesterday. Really, really hard to believe. But do you remember what else we found in and around the colony?
So what we also found around the colony was hive beetles. Now, hive beetles are a beetle that go into beehives and lay eggs in the beeswax. The eggs hatch and eat the beeswax, honey stores, and anything else. And then they sneak into tiny corners of the beehive. And as they do that, they obviously repopulate and wreak even more damage. And now Michael even said we might even see some in the beeswax, some wax moth damage, which wax moths, I'm not too sure about wax moths, but I'm pretty sure they go up into the hive and lay their eggs and make a mess around the entire comb. But yeah,
But
I hope that answers your question.
How many bees do you say we removed from that house yesterday?
Thousands. If I were to ballpark it, probably around like 5,000 to 6,000 bees, which isn't a lot.
And I thought it was interesting because we ended up sucking them up into a bucket.
And then feeling the bucket.
Yeah, and then feeling the bucket. Because you think of like bees, you're like, oh, they don't weigh anything. But like it was like 4 pounds of bees.
Oh yeah.
Like you gave that bucket to me, and I was really surprised at how heavy.
It's the straw that breaks the camel's back, man.
All right, this pot's going to be the death of me, folks. I'm not going to lie. Come on, water. We need to boil.
I say just full send it.
What do you mean full send it?
Just do it.
I mean, like it's probably going to melt, isn't it?
Well, it's already pretty hot right now.
Probably gonna melt anyways because it's
Listen,
wax.
It's
we
borderline.
came here to melt some wax, and we're gonna melt some
Even
wax.
if we get a dime size, it's still gonna be good.
Did you finish your Hive demo? I didn't want to interrupt.
Yes,
that.
I did.
Okay. Well, let's carefully get the Hive out of here real quick. Here, I'll get this out of the way. Watch the boiling pot of water.
Like I'm about to be in an OSHA commercial.
What could go wrong, they said. Everything will be fine. That's Cricket. I set up Cricket in the background just to hang out with us so she get a little different point of view of the action going on this evening. Get that bucket. Get that bucket. Get
All right.
that bucket.
Bucket.
I'm excited because,
I'll stay in the center.
like, if I just found some random old comb, I could still melt it down and make wax.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, man.
So I'm gonna be able to like use this for like my lips.
I mean, a lot of
lot of
could.
people-
Some beekeepers.
My mustache? Can
A lot
I
of
use
people
this
make-
for my mustache?
A lot of people make candles, don't they, with it?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people make lip moisture. What is that thing? Chapstick out of like a 1-to-1 ratio of like coconut oil and beeswax melted.
When it's wax, it's called balm.
This feels really good. Like this old comb, just squishing it in your hands. I don't know why.
It's like a wafer bar, but it probably doesn't
Ooh,
taste as good.
It is. It's kind of like a wafer.
Enrichment time, my enclosure.
Ooh, the heat came back on the pot. I'm excited about that. So we've been at it. These two have done a really good job at the center today. I do want to give you guys a little acknowledgement. We've done a lot of cleaning,
I'll take food.
a lot of resetting. Oh, we talked about that earlier. We didn't make that happen.
I was joking though.
Well,
I felt bad after I was like, yeah.
is this enough? So I guess tell the people what you're doing.
So I'm basically this is all cheesecloth, and what I'm doing is I'm putting all this going to be processed wax in the middle, and then kind of make the
Does
a
it
sack
matter?
of it.
Does it matter what I'm putting on here?
No, you're good. It's all gonna get sifted out.
So this contains it, so when it melts, it doesn't just mix in with the water.
Right, and then you can just take the whole bag and just throw it away.
How does it not go through these little holes in it? Is it like too thick to go through this?
This is just getting a bulk of the biggest material out. Afterwards, it'll just be a giant coin, and then we can like scrape the sides off like a spoon.
Oh,
We'll just
cool.
get those final bits in.
How much do I put on that?
Uh, a lot more.
Oh, you squish it. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
that's a 3,000 IQ play right there. Yeah, a little gaming streaming reference, you know.
Nobody says that. That was an Among Us
It's like
thing.
5,000 IQ play.
So do like
You get to squish it. I like when you squished it.
so beekeepers who have like larger farms, do they do like all of this by hand, or is there a machine that can like crush it down or anything like that? Do you
I
know?
imagine they would use a machine to like compact and then through like some sort of beeswax specific smelter. But yes,
Do we need to tie this?
probably.
We never talked about this part.
Well, we're gonna start to.
How much wax do you think is going to make? You think we need to put more?
You could probably
Let's-
fit more in there.
Yeah,
Don't you need like twine to tie it?
we probably
use
should have
it as a
gotten.
tie.
What if we got
Wait,
a
that'll
lot
just melt in the
more
pot.
cheesecloth and like
We've got boiling water! Woo! Yeah! Take that, Michael. I knew you thought I wasn't going to make the boiling water happen.
Anthony, we don't have
dang? We'll work it out.
Do you think we need 2 sheets?
I need a hair tie.
Do you think we need 2 sheets or one sheet? Probably 2 or 1.
Probably 2.
It's like folded a lot. You sure? Let's
We're probably just gonna like
Here.
tie it up and then just toss
I
it.
I I think
Okay,
I don't know anything about this. You clearly have done this before. Do you think this is thick enough though?
So the thing is, this cheesecloth in general is so fragile. So the thicker you have it, the better you'll have.
All right. Well, let's do this
Bob?
amount
Yeah.
and at least say, hey, we did this amount. You know,
Right.
Is
that's
this
what-
all the cloth we have? We don't have any more.
yes, Daniel. We've already established that. Okay.
Oops.
All right. We went to Wally World and everything before this. Well, what about a zip tie, Anthony?
Would that just melt
Black-
though? Doesn't plastic melt?
I mean, theoretically, I think it would
Here's
melt.
twine.
That'll probably be better.
Hold this guy. Hold that little guy. We're going to get this under control. We're going to get this tied up, and we're going to get it in the pot, and we're going to move on with our lives. It's going to be great. I'm going to grab the scissors. Anthony, entertain him for a second.
Hi.
Yeah, I can tell him about Bruce.
Yeah, tell him about Bruce.
I
So-
forgot you're holding that.
Yeah, I've been holding him this whole time. He doesn't want to bite me anymore, so that's good. This is Bruce. He's Rankin's dragon. He's about a couple months old, and we got him as a rescue. So I'm just trying to hold him and work with him right now because he wasn't really handled that much when he was younger by people. So he can be a little bit aggressive. And Rankin's dragons are actually subspecies of bearded dragons. So this guy's very popular in the pet trade. They come from Australia, I believe, and they live in the desert. You can see why they get their name because they have these beards underneath their neck, and whenever they get mad, it'll turn like jet black. So it's usually like that when I first pick him up, just because he hasn't really been handled that much. So I'm sort of just giving him some tough love by handling him, even though he can be a little angry sometimes, to just try and work with him and get him more adjusted to being held by people.
Daniel's been doing a great job.
We're working on getting this bag tied up over here so our wax doesn't
Pretty
get
sure
out.
they can see you.
Can they see the bag over there?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they can.
they can see it. They know what's going on. Tying the bag. I'm really like, if we're gonna get like
No,
If this,
keep it up. Keep boiling.
unplug it and replug it back in like I've been doing.
oh, it's on.
No, it's not.
Now the green light's off.
It's cooling down. Can you hear the water boiling right now? It's slowed down, Anthony.
I know as much as you know right now, man.
All right, so I think this is pretty solid. I wish that went around one more time. I say let's do that. Let's just
Should we just
throw
toss
that.
it in?
We're throwing that sucker in.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave these
Jesus.
things
Here,
here
for
just
the
in
pot?
case.
Hold on. We're really prepared. Hold on. All right. Ooh, a little misting effect.
Oh, it floats.
That water's about to turn yellow.
Okay, so it's floating, which
I
is
wish we had-
interesting.
I wish we had a top cam.
If you find yourself in the middle of the woods and need a boat and find some old comb, it makes a great flotation device.
It's looking like sun tea, man.
Yeah, so the water is starting to turn colors here. I'm sure it's going to get really gross.
Yeah.
Did you replug it in?
I did.
Okay.
Is the power light on?
No. Well, the power light's on, but the heat's not on.
Okay, so it'll be fine.
So, and approximately how long would you boil this for?
I mean,
It's getting really squishy, like really
it is
quick.
getting really squishy. What we're seeing right now is all the wax releasing.
Well, it got really brown in there. For sure.
It's black now.
Yeah,
Is that what it's supposed to look like, or is it supposed to be yellow?
A little sniffy sniff. Well, this is really old comb, so I imagine the water would look different with new comb.
Do you think it would smell like the people's house we took it out?
It smells nice. I kind of want to drink the water.
It smells like
It does
essential
actually smell
oils.
really nice.
Cool.
So, what would you recommend? I don't know anything about what we're doing currently. So, what is it going to turn into?
So after we just boil it to a point where we can compress the bag and get all that leftover wax out, we can let it cool, and then it will come out into a disc. After that, we can melt it down again, and then pour it into these ice cube trays we have.
What's a disc? Is it like a big block of it or something?
when the water cools, it'll just be a bright yellow frisbee disc.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be real honest right now. I don't think we're going to get to the completed product at the end of this live. So
well, we're gonna have fun.
we're gonna try. But so you're saying, so where's the wax? Does the wax melt into the water?
Yes.
Okay. And so the wax is just swimming in the little water.
Right.
Okay. And so then we've got wax water.
And then the wax water, after it cools, it'll separate like water and oil.
Okay.
And the disc will be on top.
Okay. Well, this is good. I feel like we can maybe get this to a solid. So I guess does it have to like cool in order for the wax to get to the top?
I mean, yeah.
we
So we'll probably just toss it in the fridge.
Just for no, we should cover these parts of the activity, Anthony, before we get started on the live.
You asked me.
So when it's ready, you pour it out then in these ice cube trays, and it just makes.
We chose ice cube trays. Is there something more traditional that you should be using for this?
A lot of people use like ingot bars to have their honey, how they store it.
What's an ingot bar?
It's like how people melt down metal and then store it as like little ingots for storage. How a gold bar, like in the cartoon.
We've got those in the bay.
We do. They're lead.
Yeah, they're lead. So
I think it's for
Michael's got a little smelter in there.
Does he really?
He's got a whole bunch of old lead and
that talented man.
Fascinating hobbies. You know?
Oh yeah.
So
what's the?
Jenna had a very interesting historical fact for you in the chat.
What's Jenna's historical fact?
Would you like to read it, or would you like me to read it?
That's how people used to tell the future back in the days. Ask the question and pour the wax into the water, and whatever shape the wax cooled was your answer.
So it's like Groundhog Day, but like an early version.
It's like tea leaves at the bottom of the glass.
So if you guys want to see this real quick,
you can smell it a lot more now that it's been in there for a while.
How much wax got out of that? Can you guys see that water?
It looks like a dirty egg.
It looks.
It does look.
It looks gnarly.
It does. Is this what haggis is?
Yeah. So I guess it's looking funky.
And all this top layer
here.
stuff is supposedly the melted wax.
Okay, the top layer. I see that. Yeah, I see the wax.
It smells kind of like maple syrup.
Would it be make sense for us to repeat the process with more comb now?
I mean, honestly, if we're really thinking about it with water, what if we just dump the entire thing in, melt all the wax, and then the water and the debris will separate on the layers.
Yeah. Hey,
that's like a good idea.
I don't think we're gonna be able to fit all of this. This is a huge bucket of material. I mean,
yeah,
this whole...
it'll melt down. You saw how small.
Did you take the other combs out and put it in a different one?
I put all the combs that we got in this tiny bucket.
Oh, so the healthy combs in here?
There was no healthy comb.
There was like some stuff that was looking yellow though.
Oh, I didn't get it.
He said, "Oh, I didn't get it."
So whenever that's done, is there any use for like the wax water that's melting in it, or does that usually just get like discarded?
It's mostly just discarded, like probably as good as mop water, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like this method is working in regards of getting the wax. Anthony, how many times have you melted down beeswax previously?
Twice.
Oh, okay.
This is my second successful
You
time.
fooled me. I thought I thought you had done it before. What's up? Yeah.
Question for Anthony.
Oh, question for
Hello.
Anthony.
A proud American wants to know: can you do this with any beehive and honeycomb, or does it have to be specific parameters?
You can do it with any beeswax. If you find a house and there's a beehive in it, you can take all the comb and just melt it down.
But
now let me see that real quick.
Oh, it just broke apart a little bit.
Is it edible?
This is the part I was talking about with the wax moss. And I need to sweep that up later. Sorry about your toes.
It's okay. I'm wearing sandals.
But all of this destruction from the wax moss makes a mess of the hive entirely.
Oh, did I do that or did you?
Let's say you did that.
I did that. My bad. So it definitely is forming a layer at the top, and it's getting really gross. I mean, the water is I did not expect the water to get that color.
Oh, there's a hole in the bag.
Oh.
You know what?
You want to just layer it
We
in?
might as well. There's a hole.
Just make some wax soup.
this
It's
is
too late for us.
this is gonna get so gross. So what's your plan after this again? You got to run through this to me. Why don't you get on screen over here? I'll keep putting it in.
So my plan is after this is to just get all this melted down, and as soon as we got all of it melted down in the bucket to where we can see like no physical thing besides the bag, we're gonna wring the bag out so we get all that melted wax out, probably with
Why don't you keep
Other
putting this
bits.
in real quick?
and then after that
There's
we
a lot
would
of it.
Put the lizard away.
we just set this in a freezer. So it would just
Dan's
cool.
over here still holding the lizard, and I'm like, I need help. This is so gross.
You're putting all of that in there?
Not all
The
of it.
bucket?
Come
Oh,
on,
okay.
be sensible. my
Don't be
friend.
sensible. Put all of it in there.
You're just gonna keep putting it in
We
until
got
it
the Three
boils over
Stooges
the
up
top.
in here.
It's starting to look like mud already.
Yes, Taylor.
Why don't you just take the cheesecloth and put it over the bucket, and then when this is done, you just run the water over the cheesecloth.
That sounds like a great idea.
That's so. Taylor suggested taking the cheesecloth, putting it over the top of the bucket to catch the materials after it's been heated through, and the waxes rise to the top. It's a great. She's so smart.
We can probably use a bungee cord around like a 5-gallon bucket.
Go ahead and unplug me real quick and replug me back in. See if we can keep this baby cooking.
It is a wonder how men rule the world.
This is so. Like, I just want to take a little. I want to take a little.
Oh no!
I want to take a little bit out.
Oh no!
That just looks like mud.
I do.
Anybody want boiled raisins?
So obviously, this looks a lot different when you're using. I mean, like, do you use new comb to do this, or is it best to use old comb? Because obviously, the new comb still has like honey in it.
Frankly, if you're going for quality, I would use newer comb because it doesn't have a lot of the other stuff yet that you have to filter out. But yes, I think new comb would be best.
All right, you keep stirring that, doing your thing here.
Oh, we got wax. We got beeswax dripping. That dried up.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Bro.
Yeah, so wax is happening.
Look at that, guys.
That must have come off of my.
I probably can't
There's
see it
no
from
way
that
they-
far away.
Here's some beeswax.
I hope y'all like dinner. It's boiled dirt.
Beeswax.
With a random cloth bag floating in it.
That's the spices. It's just a long bag.
Michael says, "Hey Anthony, there could be pesticides in that."
There could be.
So don't eat the wax.
Why would there be pesticides in it?
Well, I think there would be pesticides in it because of where it was inside the house and how possibly like different exterminators probably sprayed up there before.
Scott says there could be pesticides in everything. I agree with it. I didn't tell people, but we actually have a special guest this evening.
I think the special guest has arrived.
Can you come here, babe?
And do what?
So how you doing today, Dan?
Pretty good.
What should we do today?
A lot of cleaning, and
Yeah.
feeding, and watering.
There's
Sure
a
did.
lot of sweeping, mopping, organizing going on.
What you talking about?
There's a lot. I was out in the yard. I did some weed whacking this morning. My hands are just like so covered up right now. Scott asked, could you make a candle out of it?
Yes, 100%. After we filter this, the wax would just be wax sensies. Oh, that's a great example. It'll just be like little beeswax sensies. For you, for those folks that don't know what sensies are these little wax melts that my mom and I hope a lot of other moms have that make your house smell good. Right, Carl?
Yeah. What
Okay, there's like some shiny stuff in there or something. You know what that is?
Look, shiny stuff was probably just some old nectar water.
So
that got
we
in the
actually
bucket.
Oh, okay.
Gentlemen, we have a very special guest in here this evening.
We
with
do
us,
have a
which
special
I'm
guest.
really excited about. But I'd like to bring her on right now. But it's Bonnie Brand, co-owner of Wildlife Command Center. Come up here, step up to. She barely has any idea what
Y'all
we're
got
Oh,
doing.
there's a
water
bee.
boiling.
Anthony, look.
Yeah. So we got so Bonnie is the much better half of Michael, Bare Hands Brand.
I'll just go around him.
And so far this is just gone
Let's
really
run a little
well.
bit.
You got the water boiling?
Well, the water boiled, and we've abandoned the what was the stuff that we're covering it in?
Cheesecloth.
Cheesecloth.
Let me find it.
So now hold that up again.
It smells so good.
Does it smell good or no? It smells bad.
Whoa.
Does it smell burnt?
Yeah.
It
kind
smells
of
like burnt. It's burning now, yeah, for sure.
like burnt socks or something.
Like burnt socks or something?
It smells like a crystal shop.
So, but I thought it was wonderful since Michael wasn't here this evening that Bonnie could be able to come in and be with us on the live. So
100%.
I really appreciate you stepping in. Do you have any behind the scenes on what it's like to live and operate with Bare Hands Brand?
How long were you got? No.
Well, I guess it's a really good question because I actually thought of that early. Is how long have you and Michael been married now?
This year it'll be 23 years.
23
Together, 24
years.
That's longer than I've been alive.
Gosh. And to think Michael and I haven't even been together for 2 years yet. It's been just a blast.
I forgot about that. My 2
You had
years
your
is
own-
coming up soon, too.
Yeah, Anthony started about a month after me. Isn't that right?
November.
In November,
So y'all
yeah.
are still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, we're still in the honeymoon phase.
Bonnie, Michael has a message for you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's this.
Michael waved and said hi. So,
No, he just said, I'm waving.
oh, well, I know. I almost want to give a mini interview to Bonnie because it's just so nice to have her here. But you've been here since day one of everything, and I mean, long before Wildlife Command Center was headquartered here in Imperial, Missouri, you guys were somewhere completely different.
Yeah, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like when?
Well, it usually starts off women saying, "Did you know it was going to be like this?" I said, "No." When we met, he was in a 3-piece suit.
So, and I love that about Michael's story is he's really lived. This is actual wax. Like wax is coming off. I'm really shocked right now.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if
He
it's.
knows his stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my third time doing this.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I guess what was it like as far as working with Michael in those early days? Because he's lived so many different lives, and that's why I like him because I feel like I'm kind of the same
Well,
way.
Yeah, it started off slow. Like things were just like a little gecko for him and our son and a few nephews. Little geckos.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
And I know he's from DeVille, but were you in a different area of Louisiana?
I'm from way out.
Well, I knew. But was that where he started the business down in Louisiana? What city did he start in?
We always originally started Shreveport.
Shreveport. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. So,
Well, I mean, he originally started with, he wasn't doing this at all. He was, like I said, other, jobs. And then whenever he was the president of a roofing company and they went belly up because, I guess, whatever reason. But then he came home and told me that I'm going to be a trapper.
yeah, I think that was kind of on the outskirts around Great Recession time. I've heard a couple stories just as far as those times and whatnot. I know my life completely switched up during that time period too. So
Yeah, he said he likes to tell the story. He came home and told me that he was going to be a trapper and he was sure I threw a boot at his head.
yeah, that's usually what he says. Just like, I'm pretty sure she threw a boot at my head basically when I came in and told her. But you are involved with the business, but on the early days you were out there with him doing all this stuff?
Yeah, because it was just him and my son. And my son was, he was learning and he knew he could function just well. He just wasn't old enough to drive himself. So I got to drive him to different accounts and learn as I went.
You want me
So,
to?
But you were more than a driver because
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, I was getting to
Actually
that
throw
part.
in there.
Yeah,
when,
and-
whenever chance, you know, he he taught me how to remove skunks.
remove skunk.
Yeah, and I thought I was just driving him to the accounts, and he let me know. He turns around, he goes, "Well, you gotta learn sometime." So yeah,
Had a super chat come in from
Uh-oh.
Chef Minnie. Thanks for sending the super chat.
Woo!
woo!
So I'm gonna put. So I don't know anything about this, but Michael, was there a time when you were potentially trapping in high heels or something like that?
Is this
Well,
the pickle bucket?
yeah,
Because I
because
don't know anything about the
Yes.
story. So
well,
But it's,
I
I've
would
also used
go
it for
to
flower
my other
pots.
jobs,
I've
and
had this thing for
you know,
years.
it wasn't nothing for Michael sometimes to say, text me and say, "Hey, I
Are
need
you
you to
allergic
get
to
this
pickles?
animal," you know. And
So you're
so
good.
yeah, I did
You're
do
fine.
some pickups in my high heels. So there I was on the side of the road, you know, dispatching armadillos or whatever. Because I didn't bring work clothes with boots,
oh,
you
that
know.
was nice. Gnome Detailing was actually out today at Wildlife Command Center. They live really close to our headquarters, and did our official Wildlife Command Center YouTube vehicle, and then also Taylor's Challenger, and he did a spectacular job. So I really appreciate his work. He was each time I walk outside, he was still at it, going to town on both the vehicles. So he did a
Oh,
wonderful
yeah.
job. And that reminds me is he has donated gift certificates to each of our trivia nights. And Bonnie's been there. You haven't been on my trivia team, but you've been sitting really close to my trivia team. It's probably because you know all the answers, so you don't want to participate on my team. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Cole, watch this. I put it in, and then it starts bubbling from the top. Well, now it won't do it.
Do you have a question, dear?
I had a statement.
Oh, statement. Taylor statement.
Chef Minnie says, I would like to hear more stories from Bonnie in the future.
Yeah, we may have to make it a side series or something like
You
that.
could plan
Here we go.
a side question for me that Michael doesn't know about or something.
We'll have to have lunch together and talk about all the nitty gritty.
That
It's like
sounds
that-
fun.
It's like that one celebrity show where they were just driving around talking.
So, and
Uh-huh.
I guess Michael's been dealing with wildlife for a long time. Since he was a little kid. So were you completely blindsided by the fact that he wanted to go into this? Or did you think maybe one day he'd
I think I was, I was in the clouds in love and wasn't really paying attention to the red flags. And, down in DeVille, where he's from, there's this thing used to be called a hog dog trial. That's another whole story right there.
Well, we've been talking about doing a little road trip down to DeVille area. And I've always wanted to do the behind the scenes of, where the company started and where he started and his passion for animals and the swamps and everything. But I'm hoping that you can join us on that trip for sure. I know sometimes we end up wandering off into the middle of nowhere together, filming whatever we get into. But I think that would be a really cool trip going down to Louisiana. I think people would really enjoy that too. What are you dealing with over there?
I keep sticking the wax in, and then bubbles
It's
keep
like
coming up.
sludge.
I've got some live bees in here, Cole, if you want to see.
They're alive?
Yeah, there's
There's a
3
few
of them in here.
The
Not in the pot. We didn't put them in the pot.
No,
they're in the bucket.
casualties of transplant.
Probably go get a cup real quick and just scoop them.
Put them on
Okay.
the side. Let me see that bucket real quick. Let me see it.
There's a couple of them roaming around in there.
Do you want to talk about what type of bees these were too and the differences?
Oh, so me and Michael thought that these bees were Italian honeybees. Italian honeybees are really calm and not very aggressive at all. And we could tell that by us going up to it, and as we were sucking them up, neither of us got stung the entire time.
You want me to walk
we
around?
were
the
just so
table and
confused
show
why
them?
they didn't sting us, but we just thought they were Italian.
I really don't want to get stung right now, but I
Are you
kind
gonna
of.
get
I've
stung?
never been
Hey,
stung.
Neither of you get stung.
What?
Take this Tupperware, use the lid, scoop them in.
Yeah, hook me up. Beam me up, Scotty.
Well, they didn't fly out in my face when I was grabbing the honeycomb next to them. So
Do you want to also talk about what happens with colonies when they're relocating? Because I know that's a big thing that we're stumbling into right now.
Like, are you saying why it's good that we can move this hive somewhere else?
Well, so like we had another call where there was just a random there was 1,000 bees in one area and there was no comb. So you're not really able to relocate those bees, like what happens when a colony disperse, and is like finding a new home and stuff. How does that work?
So they would send a lot of scout bees before they even split, because a lot of beehives that go into people's homes are often swarms that beekeepers sometimes just don't take care of. And I think it's a lot in Missouri that the swarms that beekeepers take care of are their responsibility. I have no idea. But I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, he really went off there.
Wow.
He really.
Listen,
It's all the good fumes.
Right. Yeah.
What was it?
Here, I'm going to tee you up a little bit better.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk about how like half the colony ends up just leaving, and the scout bees and what they do, and,
Okay, yeah.
and potentially what happens to the queen during that time period, and that sort of thing?
So before any of this starts, we have to look back at the hive. The hive, or how hives repopulate, is they send half of them out to go to a new home so they can develop a hive there and then set up more swarms and etc. What happened was a hive nearby possibly split, taking a new queen from the old hive and leaving the old one there. And they would all go into like a secure space, like how we saw yesterday in the column or like in a house.
I'm trying so hard to get this third
Do you
bee.
need help? I can just pick them up for you. It does. I can do it.
Anthony gets stung on live. And 11 people see it.
you want me to have a go at it?
I mean, I can just pick them up.
I'm trying to now.
So why do these bees not just fly away, Anthony?
These bees are probably very traumatized
Oh, okay.
and probably hurt.
Yeah, I think this little one is. But that's why I'm also trying to be like gentle and like not squeeze them.
Yeah. But these bees would honestly have nowhere else to go.
So, and then I guess talk about people in that perspective. Like, what's a bee's life look like? Because I think that's important. I don't know if you covered that in our previous bee live that we did.
Got stung. So a bee's life is very simple. The younger the bee is, the more they'll be in the hive, and vice versa. And so the bees that are out and about that you would see are the oldest bees in the colony.
And do they die when they sting, don't they?
Yes, almost all of the bees, except for the queen, die when their stinger is removed. The queen has a straight stinger, and so the worker bee has a barb stinger, and so the barbs catch onto our skin, and so they stay there, while the queen bee can sting multiple times and not die.
So, did you say how long these bees have left in general, even if they have the healthiest life?
Probably tonight without a hive if it drops below 60.
So, what Anthony's trying to get at is that an average bee's life is around 21 days. Did you state that previously? Did you get the cut? That's what I was trying to get.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in there. So bees live a really short life. How like, I guess, how long, do you know anything about the larva? How long it takes them to like grow?
I think it's 3 weeks for them to develop from an egg to a fully developed bee out of the hive or out of the cell. And what they'll do is they'll, as soon as they're done developing, they'll start to eat their way out of the cell and get food from the other older worker bees, and then just begin their day starting building.
Is that why bees are so vulnerable? It's just as far as how short their lives are? Or?
I mean, I think the words you're looking for is like resilient.
That's like the opposite.
I don't know, but
I just, because like, if you look at bees in general, people are always worried about like saving the bees.
yeah.
You know, so like what makes them vulnerable?
Well, a lot of it has to do with like pesticides, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, with the pesticides, especially with I think it was malaria going around.
Malaria?
I don't remember. I could be wrong, but I just remember they tried getting rid of a lot of mosquitoes, which caused the other insect populations to decline a lot because of all the aerosols.
I've got so much bee particle on my computer.
Dude, this is just what my truck looks like all the time. Every time I vacuum, there's just bee stuff everywhere.
How often do you transport bees in your truck?
I'd say in a year, probably around like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay.
That's either
not as much as I was thinking.
Right.
So.
Although I'm not unaccustomed to driving a whole bucket of bees down the highway.
Yeah, that was fun. We made Anthony drive back the bees.
I mean, I've done it before.
So, Bonnie, other subject matter. I hear you've got quite the nose in regards to detecting what Michael's been wrangling during the day.
Well, I guess after quite a few years of having that, come in the door, you get used to
The particular-
different things.
Hi, Sarah.
So, so we have Sarah in the house this evening.
We're twinsies.
We're live there. We're on the line.
If you want to come in, you can come on in. So, Sarah, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Oh, yeah, I'm Sarah. I'm the office manager here at Wildlife Command Center. So I handle all the paperwork and all the fun stuff.
You two can step up. I know it gets awkward being so close, but it ends up helping them being able to see you all very well. Well, it's great. I love how. Did you guys plan on that?
No, we did not actually.
No, we didn't. We're
I-
sporting some of the
Real-
older.
Ooh, I love your ears.
Yeah, I actually really like the pink camo. I should try to see if we can do that on our merch
Oh, the
store.
white
We have a question.
Question.
So, QMNNVRDYZ
Okay.
says, question. Someone who had bees said a bee lawn doesn't really do anything. True or false?
A bee lawn?
I don't know what a bee lawn is. I would love to know, though.
Bee lawn.
A lawn that has things that bees like?
I
It's the front lawn of the bee colony. That's what it is.
I
Right?
have no idea.
What are you working on over here?
Oh, we're melting and making beeswax, Sarah.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, go ahead and take a poke in that pot. I bet you can
Take
tell
a
that
little
it's
whiff.
definitely beeswax.
That looks yummy.
It
Yeah,
appears
doesn't it smell yummy?
that
Smells
bee
great.
lawn is a lawn
He's like, oh
that
no.
is bee friendly because it has a lot of flowers, very little fertilizer, and very little pesticides, if any at all. So it's basically shut up. Your most basic.
That wasn't nice.
He wasn't nice either. It is your most basic input of plants into your lawn so that bees like it.
They're saying it's not effective.
They're saying if
They
it is
asked
or
true
not.
false, but considering you guys don't know anything about it at all, I would say you don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume having things that bees like in your lawn would be beneficial to them, but I guess I could very well be wrong.
Oh,
I would just have to do
Unintended.
research into it.
The same
To
person,
be honest.
The same person said that it basically means letting your lawn grow higher for a longer period of time so bees can get more pollen.
Oh, I've seen that where people are just
Oh,
like
I know what it means. Yeah. Okay.
where you just like don't cut your grass for like multiple years at a
Oh, I
time
think
and it just
it's-
grows super tall.
I think it's just not letting it grow for like a week or two, so so everything just grows a little bit more, and then cutting it. But I think
those are two different things, but I know some people do that to like for like wildlife and stuff. They'll just like not cut their lawn at all. They won't pull weeds.
Is that still not
use
Yeah.
pesticide or anything like
no,
that.
bro, we're melting all the wax.
Wait, how much is left in there?
And if they're
Have you almost gone through the whole bucket?
Almost.
Oh, that's about a
But I
quarter
think
left.
it really shrinks down. Like it
And
gets,
it melts.
Yeah.
well, I guess it melts too.
You can't even see water in there anymore.
This
Sarah.
is it. Michael says that bee lawns are not effective because bees would require an entirely different type of grass in order for that method to be effective. If I'm understanding him correctly.
Our bees are still alive. Report. Bonnie, do you have any really good Michael stories that we should know? Does anything come in mind in particular?
I'll have to think.
You've done a lot of events and stuff with Michael. Do you enjoy of the yearly events that we do? Is there one in particular that you like doing?
Oh, I think everybody's favorite's the Ren Fair.
Yeah, I kind of set you up for that one.
Yeah.
The Ren Fair is really fun. If you guys are in or around the St. Louis area, which I know a few of you that are watching right now are, Wildlife Command Center is in charge of kind of the petting zoo area in particular of Ren Fair. And we use it as a really great opportunity to educate people and get them really up close to reptiles and to birds for sometimes the very first time. And it runs 6 weeks.
Yeah. Now I think they're gonna extend it 2 more weekends. But
They're going to extend it, you think?
we've been doing it now since 2015.
I
And
didn't
so
realize.
we've grown every year.
Yeah,
The
and
amount of people and the amount of animals and reptiles that we display. And then now Michael does the hawk walks there. And
yeah, the Hawk Talk is actually really fun. I've been wanting to do that for a YouTube video, but it really is the main form for fundraising for our nonprofit Raptor Rescue, where we go out and we help injured birds of prey.
Well, in our newest thing, the trivia night.
Yeah, and that's been wonderful. I think it's been going really good.
I remember when my family came and we had like 8 or 4 or 5 different tables full.
Anthony's mother is a very big supporter of our trivia nights, and she's a wonderful lady as well.
Hi, Mom. Love you.
But our Renaissance Fair is our largest kind of fundraiser for Raptor Rescue throughout the year. And but I'm really excited I had our new, are those around? Are those around?
Super chat.
I know Michael is there. I'll show up.
Thanks, hear this.
So I know Michael has talked to our web guy, and we're about to get our coloring books up on the website. I know if we've mentioned them before, we've given away a lot on the lives previously. If you sign up on our Patreon account, and that link is in the description, either via our Linktree or the direct link that's posted below it. But I think it's really funny. Michael wrote his name in this one. It says Michael's book. Michael's book, because he worked really hard on his Dorito drawing as well. Did you know he could color this good?
Oh yeah, one of the first Christmas gifts he gave me, he painted a picture, and he's painting me roses on things.
Do I dare ask about your guys' first date? I don't know any information.
Tell us, Bonnie, how was the first date?
It was good. It was just a normal, date. We went out to eat, and it wasn't like I didn't get plunged into some wild animal event.
It wasn't a wild animal event.
No.
Meanwhile, poor Taylor, our first date was here at Wildlife Command Center.
Our first date was here after I spent the day decorating your husband and others as a zombie.
Oh yeah. So, and that's and Michael is on the road. Jenna and Michael are casted in a new movie called God of War, or Dinner with the God of War. Crazy off. Get out of here. And so they're in Ohio right now doing the filming for that. And that's actually going to be a really cool film project coming around the corner. Taylor, question.
Yes, Chef Minnie has a question. They want to know, does smoking the bees harm them
Say it
in
again.
any Does
Anyway.
smoking the bees harm them in any way? Because the Bee movie makes it seem like they get stupefied for a long time.
Okay, well, me and a bunch of other beekeepers have major beef with the bee movie because of its inaccuracies.
I know. I've been seeing the some chat actually.
Right. So just don't use the bee movie as a reference. Personally,
However, the question still stands.
from what I know, the smoke it produces triggers an evolutionary response for the bees that tells them, my house is on fire. I'm going to go back to my house, get everything out so I can move. But yes. So I do not know for sure if it is good or bad, but to answer your question, yes.
Okay, I'm going to be real honest. We're not getting anywhere beeswax this evening.
I mean, we got through the whole bucket.
It's very chunky
How
when I'm
hot is
stirring
this?
it. I wouldn't. Well, it's probably cooled down a little bit now.
I've gotten wax in my thumbs. Like,
Okay, so it's definitely giving the candle effect. It's just really
You're
dirty.
gonna make a little pile and light it.
Well, what's hilarious about you saying that is before we got started, I guess Anthony, did you put a lighter to one of the pieces of comb or something?
I found out that honeycomb is actually flammable.
Yeah, so I guess if you need a fire starter somewhere in the wild and just so happen to have a honeybee colony around, then
Right.
use it as a
You might
fire
get stung
starter.
a couple times, but at least you won't be cold.
So we're gonna probably wrap up the live now, but we're gonna clearly have to handle this in this very organized not mess that is in this pot. And I will be posting an update on our Patreon page later tonight as we make progress on this. So if you're not on Patreon, go ahead and check that out. I'll have updates on that this evening.
Breaking news.
Got breaking news.
Michael just put a link in chat, and it is a link to the Wildlife Command Center coloring.
Oh, he didn't like my call out I had earlier. So I guess we officially have the coloring book listed on the website. So you can check that out. You can actually get to that link that Michael posted via the Coffee That Saves Birds or Saves Hawks link that we have on the Linktree. So we've had a lot of local support. I posted a cute little photo convo from our volunteer chat today on our community page. So I'll definitely get you an update on this. Anthony, do you have any last words?
Keep stirring.
Yeah, keep stirring. Just keep working.
Just keep stirring.
Always get that money, man.
Bonnie, do you have any last add-ins for this live?
If you're local, come to the Trivia Night, May 19th.
Yeah.
7 o'clock, Pastime Club, Arnold, Missouri.
You're so
yeah.
you're so
no,
good
Imperial.
at this. Yeah.
Imperial, Missouri.
You're so good at this, Bonnie. I didn't even say. So we're having our next trivia night is going to be the weekend before Memorial Day. So we moved it up to the 19th, and it'll be our last trivia night before the fall. We're going to take a little summer hiatus with people going off to or being off school and doing vacation and doing all that stuff. So, but we'll be back. So I'll be giving an update. Maybe next week I'll actually have Michael jump into the fray, and we can continue our BEESWAX saga.
Woo!
I really appreciate you guys watching. Really, thanks for the super chats too. You guys have been great. Wave them goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.